Perfect. Okay. So what you'll walk away with today is something you started building with Lovable. The keyword is start. You might not have something like polished and ready to go live by the end of today, but you will have a starting point. Next is confidence that you can continue building with Lovable on your own after this session. And lastly, the most important, I say this in all of my sessions, reflex and inspiration. This is the biggest one because my hope is that once you experience the magic, you'll start asking yourself how AI can help you with everything that comes across your desk or even in your personal life, how it can help you. How we're going to get there. I'm going to briefly cover some basics and a demo for about 30 minutes till about 10:30, and then you'll have an hour to build for yourself. And at the end, the last 30 minutes, we'll do show and tell. There's no obligation here. This is just if you want to show us a before and after. And that's always a fun part. Yeah, Carrie, the promo code is VIBE. I'll drop it in the chat. And then I will also put the instructions and the code on the screen again at the top of the working portion. How we'll work together. We're having fun. We're learning. So feel free to interrupt me mid-sentence, ask questions using the chat, raising your hand, or coming off mute. Also, since this is a working session, there may be some periods of silence. That's fine. It's not awkward, totally natural. I'm not going to fill every space with my voice unless there are questions. Feel free to come off mute anytime during the working session and ask questions. If you are working and like us talking is distracting to you, feel free to turn us down and come back. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here till noon. Alrighty. Okay, quick basics so we're on the same page. What is vibe coding? I go through this every session. It's describing what you want in plain language and letting AI handle the technical part. You don't need to know how to code it all. But why is it called vibe coding? It's because when you ask AI or a large language model a question and it generates an output, it could be a spreadsheet, a slide deck, an app, whatever it's building for you, it's doing that by writing code. And to give you context of vibe coding and like where Lovable falls in all of this, here's a visual for you. You can think about it like a swimming pool. The steps are like where most people start. It's like using ChatGPT for things like writing, research, emails. And then you get off the steps into the shallow section. Maybe you have it start doing spreadsheets or slide decks for you. And then the middle of the pool, this is where we're at today. These are automation tools or vibe coding tools or building apps, things like that. This is tools like N8N, Zapier, Lovable, or Google Apps Script. And then lastly, the deep end. This is the most exciting part of AI to me, and then why I'm doing these sessions is because that's where I'm headed and that's what we're building up to, because it's like the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. It's the place where you start doing things as a non-technical person that you never thought you could do. And you'll get a taste of that today with Lovable. Tools like Lovable are a good stepping stone to get there as well. First question I always answer, do I have to be really good at writing prompts? The answer is no. Knowing how to prompt is something called prompt engineering. And my message to you today is that you do not need to be a prompt engineer to vibe code effectively. And there's nothing wrong with writing the perfect prompt if you have the time and the patience to do that. But sometimes it becomes a barrier for people. And I'm just saying that that barrier doesn't exist. I have vibe coded extremely complex things by not writing perfect prompts. But if I'm not writing perfect prompts, then how do I do it? I just start typing, and you can just start typing. That's it. It's that simple. I call my approach lazy girl prompting. I just start typing, stream of consciousness. It can be a brain dump, a word vomit, and I don't even fix my typos. Or if typing even feels like too much, or you get this good idea, like when you're in the middle of doing something, you're on a walk or something, open up your phone and just start dictating into an Apple Note or any place, even directly into AI if you want to. And you can just give that to AI to start working. Lastly, if you have a big complex thing that you're working on, you can have AI refine your prompt for you. So give it your brain dump, give it your word vomit, and then ask it to write you the prompt. And then tell it to ask you clarifying questions. That way you can see how it interpreted everything it gave you and how it's going to start building whatever you want it to build. So this is my permission today that lazy prompting is totally okay. The process that we'll use with Lovable and just with anytime you use AI, it's number one, you're going to describe what you want in plain language. Give it your brain dump or your word vomit, whatever. Then you're going to feed it into AI. Today it will be with Lovable, and you're going to see what it builds you. It's going to give you something back. It's not going to be perfect on the first iteration. Sometimes it can be. That's called a one shot. When you give it your thing and then it builds it perfectly and you don't even have to make changes. That's awesome. But a lot of times you're going to have to test and keep iterating. So don't get discouraged if you have to like keep making adjustments. It's not that the AI is like incapable of getting it to where you need it to be. It just means that you have to keep working through kind of these small changes. And then eventually you'll have a working solution. Okay, before I jump into the demos of the things that I'm going to show, I want to give you a lay of the land of Lovable. So this is what it's going to look like when you log in. If you haven't already redeemed your code, you can do that a couple of ways. One is clicking this Upgrade to Pro in the left side menu, or clicking on your workspace and clicking Upgrade, or you can click Settings. Lots of ways to get there. And then you'll enter the code VIBE-EA as your code to redeem 1 month for 100 credits. Okay, so this is your dashboard. All of your projects are going to live here on the left side. So anything you start building. This is your chat box, just like ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you have experience with. Same thing. Under the chat box, you have a couple different buttons here. One is the plan mode. Plan mode is what you're going to start with today. And plan mode is good for like when you're fleshing out an idea, trying to get your brain dump interpreted correctly. Lovable might ask you some clarifying questions, so you're going to use plan mode when you start. To disable it, you just click on here. When plan mode is on, Lovable is basically going to think with you, but it's not going to write any code yet. So this is good for brainstorming and figuring out what you want before you commit. Okay, and then down here you can attach files. Say you have some images or some reference documents or something that you want it to have context for, you can attach your files here. Okay. Okay, so that's the basics. Chat window, plan mode, and then a place to attach files. The first thing that I'm going to show you today is how fast you can go from having something like a starting point to having something built in Lovable. And I'm going to show you how you can turn your resume into a personal website or like a professional website. Okay, so by the way, this is like a cooking show. I always do this. I've already done these demos, so I'm not going to make you watch it work live. I've already done them. I'll show you the prompts that I use and the outputs it gave me. Okay, so this is the prompt I gave it. Super basic. I said, turn my resume into a personal website. Ask me questions before starting. I attached my headshot as well. Like I couldn't be more plain Jane in this prompt. I've got plan mode on. I attached my resume. I attached my headshot, and I'm gonna hit send. And it should prompt me for some questions, some clarifying questions. Okay, since I've already done this, I won't make you wait. Also, sorry that this thing keeps popping up down here. Here we go. So this is essentially what it did, is it responded and it asked me some questions. It asked, what is the primary action? Like, what is the purpose of this? And I answered, I just want people to read my story. It asked me what kind of design vibe I wanted. It gave me like a few options, and I said warm and approachable. It asked me what sections I wanted to include in this website, and I said, give me a hero, about, experience, contact, skills and tools, and add speaking and media section. Then it asked me what kind of layout. The thing I like about this is it gave me options when it was asking me these questions. I didn't have to like sit down and actually think about what I wanted because sometimes I don't always know. So I just answered its questions, and then it built a plan for me. And this is the plan that it built, and then I approved it. And then the website that it built me was this one here on the left. So if I go down, it just took all of this from my resume. Okay, so executive business partner, AI evangelist. I honestly, that's generous. I didn't make any edits to this, by the way. This is just what it pulled. If I click read my story, it comes here, gives some core competencies, my education, my actual experience pulled straight from my resume. I can expand these for the responsibilities, skills, media, and contact. So you'll see I have to like make some changes here. This isn't absolutely perfect, but this is just a good example of how it went from something super simple like a resume to a website in like 5 minutes. Okay, So this version is great, but like, what if I want to experiment? Like, what if I am like, I don't like this warm and approachable thing. I want it to look different. I would just come back to the chat here on the left and I would tell it what I want. So, actually, sorry, one other way that you can do this is say that you like this and but you want to keep experimenting. I don't want to like write over this. I'm going to do something called remix it, which means I'm just going to make a copy of it so I can play with the copy. And the way that I do that is I come up here to the menu and I click remix this project. When I click that, it's going to make a duplicate that I can start making edits to. So that's what I did. And if I come here to my remix project, I told it I wanted to change the aesthetic to modern, dark mode, tech forward. And it just, same exact site, it just changed the whole design and aesthetic of it. So that's how you can take something basic like a document, turn it into a website, and make edits. Any questions so far before I move on to the next example? Okay. Okay, so that's a basic website. Now I want to show you something a little bit more interactive. Will definitely be relevant to EAs. This is offsite planning. This next example could also be event planning in general. Could be weddings, conferences, team retreats, whatever you want. Here is the prompt that I gave Lovable for an offsite example. I said, I am planning an offsite for the marketing team. It will be 150 people. It will be in Austin, Texas from March 23rd to March 26th at the Thompson Hotel. I want to create an event landing page where it has all the details of the event, including FAQs. And for the FAQs, I wanted to just, I don't know exactly what they are yet. I wanted to populate them for me and then I can edit the answers. So I said, please populate these. Give me info about the hotel, how to RSVP, include an RSVP form with their work email that they can submit and edit later if needed. Send them a confirmation email after they RSVP or update their submission. And anything else I'm missing that would be good for an offsite. Ask me clarifying questions before building. Okay, so I'm in plan mode right now. I send this and it's going to ask me clarifying questions. Okay, while that's loading, Jessa asks, quick question. If Lovable builds the app/website for us, can we take the code and use it outside the platform? Jessa, what code do you mean?
I just wanted to clarify because when you're building a website, there's like a code like the HTML, the CSS. If we can
Oh,
copy
got you.
that, yeah.
So, I don't know what Lovable's official answer to this question is, but for those who are interested, every website is like built with code, right? And you can see that up here by clicking code, and it has all of your files here with all of the code that's built your website, and you're able to download it. So, I believe the answer is yes. Like if you wanted to take this somewhere else. Okay, so I submitted my prompt for this offsite, and here's some of the questions, the types of questions it's going to ask me. What's the company's team name to display on the landing page? And I'm going to say ABC Corp marketing team as my example. Next. Do you have a structured agenda or a schedule to display? And no, I don't. So I want it to create a sample agenda for me. What info should the RSVP form collect beyond work email? Let's see, ask for basic, their name, email, dietary, whether I want detailed that includes travel dates, hotel needs, t-shirt size, or comprehensive, which is all of the above plus the emergency contact. I want all of it. What visual style do you want? I'm going to say bold and energetic. Okay, now I submit. So now it's going to start working on this. Again, this is like a cooking show. I've already cooked. And so let's see what it built me. Number one is a password page because I don't want this to just be open to anyone with the URL. I want it to make sure that it's just folks at our company. So they'll have a password to this. My password I type in is just the city name, Austin. And here's what it created. It also asked me originally in the questions if I had a theme. And I said, sure, I want my theme to be like boots on the ground, like a Texas, like Western, like theme. So boots on the ground is what I went with. If I scroll down here, it has the why, some objectives here and the purpose. the where. It has the Thompson Hotel and included a picture of the hotel here. Some basic details like the address and amenities, highlights. Now I scroll down to the schedule and it gives me an overview. And this can all be accessible, like so people can open this on their phone or on their computer, either way. And then lastly, the RSVP form. So this is where you can collect all the details, and then this gets submitted so that on the facilitator side that you would have all this information. It even included things like breakout activities. So Lovable did the research for me of like what activities are nearby in Austin. And during plan mode, it had asked me like, what activities would you like to offer? And these are the ones that I selected. It included the FAQ. I love that it populated the questions for me, so I didn't even have to think that hard. I would just have to go in here and edit these. Speaking of, if I wanted to edit something, I can have two ways to do that. I can either ask the chat and it'll just do it for me through AI, or it's easier sometimes just to click this button here called Visual Edits. That way you don't have to use the chat feature. You can just come in and click on something like if I want to change if I want to change like the description of something. Let me see if it'll let me do this. Visual edits. Also, just FYI, this always happens. There's a lot of like bugs when you're using AI sometimes. Like some things don't always work like they're supposed to. So like right now, I should be able to like click something, but it's not letting me. Let me try on this one here. Oh, cancel. Maybe this is why. Oh, I don't know why it's not working. Hopefully it'll work for you all. But essentially, when you click visual edits, you should be able to click a text box and you'll just be able to edit the text in that box. Or if you wanted to change the font color, the menu will appear and you'll be able to change the font color there. Hopefully I can figure out why that's not working on my end. Okay, any questions so far on this example?
I have two quick questions.
Go for it.
Um, can you change the URL for what you're sending to your attendees?
Yes, absolutely. So up here in the right-hand side where you see publish, it's
Hmm.
going to give you like a basic Lovable app URL, and you can change that Lovable app. Like if you don't want to pay for a custom domain, you can change this name to whatever you want, but it's going to have .lovable.app at the end. Or
Okay,
if you want to pay a couple bucks and like buy a custom domain, you can easily connect that to your Lovable site.
cool.
Yeah.
And then this might be what you were kind of alluding to in the last piece, but if we wanted to like for editing, if we wanted to incorporate some elements with our design team, like I'm thinking when we create our own event websites with our design team, are we able to do that? Like how much runway do we have with the design piece of this?
You mean like if you had some elements, like say, for example, the design team was putting together some like graphics that you wanted to use on your website. Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
fine. And you would just, in order to do that, you would click, there is like a, let me see, maybe make my window smaller. Right here in this plus sign, there's an attach button. So you would just attach any of your elements, like your graphics that you wanted to add and tell it like what you wanted to do with those.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just the same way that in that personal website I added my headshot, it like added my picture there. So same thing, say you already have your whole offsite planned or your event planned and you have it all like in Google Docs, you can just upload those documents here and it can pull all the information from those docs to populate.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Any
I
other
have
questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I have two questions. It's regarding the form specifically. So I normally do a Microsoft form because I have about 12 different questions I ask, and obviously it's about like their Bonvoy number or how easy is it to edit the form?
Oh, super easy. So the same way. So say for example, this form right here that we have, the RSVP form. What
Hmm.
you can do is you can just attach your you said you use Microsoft Word for this form or something. You can
Microsoft Forms though, so it
forms.
wouldn't
Okay,
be something
yes.
I just pull in.
Gotcha. So you can attach a document or something or just copy. Like you could even take a screenshot of the form
Okay.
that you're using and paste it here and it will populate all of those same fields on your RSVP form.
Okay. Then how easy is it to download the information put in there? So say I have 100 people. they will fill in this form. What is the download of that?
So there's a couple different options. You're going to work with Lovable, and it will ask you. You can ask it a question like, let's see, how can I access my RSVP form data when attendees fill it out? There's a couple different ways. We'll see what Lovable says, but it sometimes will prompt you to connect to a database, and you're going to have to set that up. It'll walk you through every step. This is if you're like handling a lot of data. Like if you've got a 3,000 person event, it'll might suggest that you connect to a database to collect this, and then you can export from there. Or they have this little cloud button at the top where you can view it, and this is what it's saying now, directly in Lovable Cloud. So if you come here to database, I have the RSVPs. This is how it's collecting it right now,
Okay.
is it has all the different rows for the RSVPs that you're getting, and you can export this.
Okay.
Another option that it's also mentioned here is you can build an admin dashboard. So you could literally type into Lovable, build me an admin dashboard with all of my RSVP data so that I can export it as an Excel file. Or if you just want to work in your dashboard and not even have to export it, you can do that too. So like even Lovable is smart. It's anticipating our needs here. It's prompted. It's like said, build admin dashboard. It just gave us a prompt that we can plug in. It says build a password protected admin dashboard page that displays all RSVP submissions in a sortable, filterable table with CSV export functionality. So I could send that and then it will just start building this.
Okay. Are people able to edit their form once they've submitted it, or they don't have to sign in to, I mean, I know you have a password to sign into the website itself, but they don't sign in with their name and anything, right? So once they've submitted it, they would have to submit again. They can't edit what they've
So
given you.
here's one way to think about this. Like all of the questions that you have about like this specific example,
Yep.
the thing is that the greatest thing about AI and using these tools is like any question you have or however you want it to work, it will build it that way for you.
Okay.
So if you want the attendees to be able to sign in to like their side, like have a login and see their submission and edit it, you can tell Lovable that's what you want to build. Or
Okay.
if you want it done a different way, it can do that too. So you basically just describe how you want it to work, and then it will eventually, I say eventually build it because it'll make an attempt, but the first attempt might not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably have to iterate a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it said it just built this admin dashboard for me. So if I click admin here, theoretically it would show me. I haven't done any RSVPs to this specific
Mm-hmm.
event, so it might not have much to show. It said my password is admin 2026. Okay, so here I can see the RSVP dashboard. This is what it would look like. Say this is like too boring for you. You want it styled different. It can make it look and feel however you want, however is easiest for you planning the event.
Okay.
I know it's so crazy, Caitlin. And this is why it excites me so much. This is why I'm like shouting it from the rooftops. I'm like, I'll teach people for free. This is how cool it is. So I'm glad that you all are excited about it too. Okay, I have one more example for you before we unleash and you guys go build the coolest things you've ever dreamed of. This one is the next example is a personal example. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. This is okay. So this one is a gift that I built for my uncle. Here's the context. My uncle last year downsized and moved to a condo, and his new HOA wouldn't allow him to bring his Traeger grill with him. And it was this super nice Traeger. It was like $3,000, something that like my husband and I would probably never buy. But he gave it to us for free because he was downsizing, he couldn't keep it. And we were super excited about it. And we've made so much barbecue and we're just so grateful we have it. And I wanted to figure out a way to thank him. So I wanted to make him an app where he could search for barbecue, like wherever he is, like since he no longer has his Traeger. So I had Lovable build this for me. It literally took maybe like 1 hour. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is the app. He can pull it up on his phone or on his computer. His name's Uncle Dan. I called it Uncle D's BBQ Finder. This app is dedicated to Uncle Dan, a man who gave away his Traeger but never lost his taste for great barbecue. Now, instead of smoking it yourself, let us help you find someone else doing the hard work. You earned it. Let's find some BBQ. And I did. I put his little face, like made that little visual for him. So I had it default to where he is, which is Sunnyvale, so he can see. But he can type in any location. Let's say he's in San Francisco. He can click that, and it will populate all the barbecue. He can scroll down. And since this app is just for him, I'm not like launching this in any app store or anything. He can rate it. So if he goes there and is like, oh, this was like a 3 out of 5 on the Traeger scale, he can rate these. Um, and then he can come down here and see the places that he's rated or been to. It's super simple, straightforward. But yeah, a cute little app. So you can really use this for anything. I also created an app for my best friend and I. We do like a meal prep day, like once every 6 to 8 weeks. And we're always like sharing recipes and scaling up the recipes and creating pack lists because we usually do it at one of each other's houses. So I also used Lovable to create like a meal prep app so I can add the recipes and collaborate with her for our meal prep day. Okay, so those are my 3 examples to hopefully give you some ideas on what you can build. The next part here is the working session. So let me go back to our slide here. So we're going to have about an hour to build. Ask questions at any time. On the screen right here, if you haven't already, you can redeem your code. It's the code VIBE-EA. I think that answers your question, Marlene. So you create your account, upgrade to Pro for 1 month, enter this code. It'll give you 100 free credits. Don't forget to cancel after a month if you don't want to keep your subscription. And then on the left side here, I have some tips. So remember, do your brain dump, do your word vomit, ask Lovable to ask you questions before it starts building. One tip here, take it or leave it, is to start small. So if you have some like super huge like for example, that event offsite is a great example. I started with the basic landing page of the event in a simple RSVP form. If you want to have an admin dashboard too, maybe start with like the base and then add your features. Like once everything looks good and you're like, okay, now I want the dashboard and now I want users to be able to log in and update their RSVPs. Start with the base thing, then build on those features. You can go crazy and you can give it the huge, long, complex prompt up front, but it just might take more iterations of getting it all working. Remind Lovable that you have zero technical background. If it's getting a little bit too complex for you with the instructions, no problem. Just remind it I have zero technical background and it'll simplify for you. Okay, use plan mode to brainstorm. Use the visual edit button, the one I showed you that wasn't working in my example. You can use that to edit small things like text or colors of headings or text. You can bookmark versions that work, and you can see that in your history here. There's a little history icon. And if you have a version you really like and you're adding features, you can always bookmark it so that you can revert back to that version at any time. So the 2 ways to save a version is to bookmark it in your history or to remix that project. 2 more here. If you're getting errors or running into things you can't figure out, just take a screenshot and paste it into Lovable. It can read screenshots. If you're stuck and something's not working, again, you can remix that project and start fresh.
Hey, may I have a question,
Yeah,
please?
go for it.
All right, so I got the lovable.dev website up right now. So there's like a login and get started on the left right hand side. You said create account or log in. So I don't see that though. I just get started.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you can click get started. That's perfect.
And then it gives me create free account, whether with my Google account or GitHub or continue with email.
Yep. So either any way that you want to create your account, you can choose the way that you'd like to create it. And then once you're logged in, it for your free account, it should prompt you to upgrade, or you can just click the upgrade button, and that's where you'll enter the code to get the credits.
Okay. All right, thanks. I'll do it now.
Any other questions or issues with getting the code working? Yeah, Marlene.
So we have to put in our credit card information to use the credits?
That's right. They do require, it's like when you sign up for a subscription for any
It's-
service, they require that. And then you can cancel at any time. So say you want to just use it for this session, you can enter the code, and then as soon as you're done, you can click cancel your subscription.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I just want to be clear. There's so many things where you sign up. I've had 2 recently this year where I thought I canceled something after I had done the initial sign up and got my credit card charged. So
It's the
I know
worst. I know. I've made the
they
same
make it
mistake
so
too many times.
they make it so damn complicated.
To answer your question, Nicole, yeah, I'll do this right now. I'll send the cancellation instructions. I'm going to just test this in my own account so I can send it to you all. So in order to cancel, you would come to your workspace, which looks like this. You click the name of your workspace in the upper left-hand corner, and then click Settings. And under Plans and Credits, you click Manage. It'll show you what plan you're on. And then you click Downgrade to Free.
A question about that. When you downgrade to free, you still have access to everything that you built. You just wouldn't have the credits to keep building necessarily. I mean,
That
you
is
have.
correct. That is correct. You still have what you built. And one thing, it's a good question I'll look into is they might require you to have a paid plan to have a custom domain connected. So if you don't want that .lovable.app in your domain
Okay.
of your app, they might require you to have a paid plan to connect a custom domain, but I'll check on that right now while you all are working. So Jessa asked a question, after building an app in Lovable, can we still use it / deploy it if we cancel the subscription, or is it tied to an active plan? Jessa, I'm looking into that right now. I think you can still use it and deploy it. It just has the Lovable thing in the URL and like the little ad on your app. But I'm actually just double checking that right now, so I'll report back once I find an answer. Okay, a few answers to those questions I'll also paste in the chat. After you build an app, if you downgrade to the free plan, yes, you can still use it and deploy it, but as mentioned, it'll have the Lovable in the domain name and you can't connect a custom domain. In their terms and conditions, they basically say like when you generate code, like I had showed Jessa, like if you click that button that has the code here, and this is like all your files, you essentially own this. Like you can download it, you can save it, you can do it, you can redeploy it somewhere else. Like you own this and you can do whatever you want with it, even if you don't keep your Lovable subscription. Let's see what else here. For On the free plan, you still get 5 daily credits. So you'll get up to 30 credits per month. Like you have 100 credits now. They'll keep adding credits even on the free plan so you can work on things. And your projects won't disappear. You'll still have access to them even on the free plan. For the next question, to share an app, if you are going to publish it, like I publish my Uncle Dan's barbecue app, he doesn't have to have an account. It's posted just like a website. It's like sharing a website with somebody and they can open it on their phone or on their computer. So he doesn't need to have an account with Lovable to like see what I've built because it's just like a website. Um, if you want to share an app and like have somebody collaborate on it with you, you would have to invite them to your workspace. So if you go here, this is like shows me the workspace and I can invite members to my workspace. And according to what I found, they don't need to have a paid account. They will have to sign up for an account, but they don't need to have a paid account to come to your workspace and collaborate with you. I believe anything that they were to do in your workspace would draw down from your credits. I'm not 100% sure, but according to their documentation, that's what I gather. I don't have the answer to this because I've never actually invited a collaborator to work on something with.
That's
Yeah.
correct, Beth.
Okay.
It depletes yours.
Thank you, Molly.
Yep.
My handy dandy lovable expert. Yeah, Caitlin. Okay, so Caitlin asks, so the website can be embedded in another website or be exported as a standalone regular website. Can you show how to export the website as a standalone? Sorry if it's already been shown. Okay, so let's see here. Let's take my resume website, for example. Say I was no longer going to host this on Lovable site, but I still wanted all of this code and wanted to host it elsewhere. Up at the top here, there's this button. It's like looks like code. I'm gonna click that. Oh, of course. Let me go back. Here's what it looks like. If you click code, these are all of the files that make up your website. And this is like how it's rendering so people can see your nice, pretty website. Essentially, what you would do is you would download all of this code and then host it somewhere else. Um, there's different like apps and like different other AI tools you could use to like tell you how to do this. There's a website called GitHub, GitHub, and this is a place where people upload all of their code and all of their files. I would say this is definitely deep end, like going to GitHub and starting to upload all of your standalone files for your app or for your website is deep end stuff. It's a little more technical, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that you can have AI walk you through the steps of like, how do I get the code from this Lovable website and how do I upload it to GitHub? Also, I believe Lovable actually has a connector with GitHub. So if you wanted to upload all of these files, you certainly could. Let me drag this. Why is this? There we go. Here. So you click the plus sign and you click GitHub. If you have a GitHub account, it will then upload all of your files there, and that's a way for you to access them. Does that answer your question, Caitlin? Yeah, okay, perfect. And then just in case this is like a lingering question, when you want to connect a custom domain, say you own the domain like bethsresume.com, I can click publish here and then I would click add custom domain. And then I could follow the steps from wherever I bought my domain on how to connect them so that instead of coming to the Lovable URL, they go to bethsresume.com. Yes, Caroline, you can. So let's ask, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new thing and I'm going to just ask Lovable that exact question. I know you can do it. I just don't know what the best way is. Like if the best way is to connect it to GitHub, which is here in your connectors, or if it's by attaching those files. So let's ask. So the answer I gave, Caroline, is yeah, GitHub is definitely the best way if you can upload your other files to GitHub and then access them here. One important note that it says is that Lovable uses, okay, these are all going to sound like unfamiliar words if it's your first time doing something like this. Lovable uses React, Vite, Tailwind, and TypeScript. These are like all the code that it generates in the background. These are the different tools it's like accessing in the different coding languages. So if the code that you built is one of those frameworks, it will work. If it's a different framework, like for example, Next.js, if you're using a tool like Claude Code, a lot of times it'll generate code with Next.js. If you're using one of these, it won't work directly, but it can likely convert it so that it will work. Says for smaller projects, if you don't have GitHub, you can just copy and paste it, like literally just drop your code in the chat, or attach those files. And then one cool thing, super cool thing actually, I built the website vibe coding for EAs all with Lovable. And I found this, how to get rich. Oh, My Rich Life. I saw this website once that I liked that like stuck with me. And on the beginning of this site, it had like flashing words and let's see if right here. What is your rich life? I liked this. So then when I was building vibe coding for EAs, I wanted that same feature. So I literally just took a screenshot and I gave it the URL to this I will teach you to be rich.com. I dropped that in the chat in Lovable and basically said, recreate this. But instead of what is your rich life, I wanted to say what is vibe coding. And that's how I built my whole site with Lovable. So if you find inspiration from somewhere else, from another website, another app, you can drop that in Lovable and it can recreate it for you. Also, we don't have to be like hard and fast on these timelines. If you all are working, that's great. Keep it up. If anybody's like has something that they're like already pretty happy with or that they want to share, feel free to come off mute if you want to share your screen and show what you're working on. No pressure. Just like if you've already completed something and you want to show, feel free.
I can share what I've got so far. So in 7 minutes, I timed it. So I got this done in 7 minutes. I was recently invited to an entrepreneurial group out here in East Texas, and I like to come in hot, and they've never done anything like this. So I decided to spin up a quick app. Hold on, let me share my screen for them for our first meeting, because as an EA, just kind of fall into this, of course. Here we go. So my process, I do what Beth does as far as lazy girl prompting 100%. I did, because I use Lovable a lot and I want to conserve my credits, I typically these days I go into Claude or into ChatGPT and I'll tell it there and say, give me a really clean, consistent prompt, just so I'm not wasting a lot of time. That's just kind of a little hack. So by the time I was done with it, I gave it, you know, build a clean, modern dashboard for a local entrepreneurship community. The purpose of the app is to help members connect, share information, things like this. I provided it with what I provided it with, I gave it our first agenda of when we're going to be meeting on the 2nd. And then I kind of said, think through being an entrepreneur and what would you want to see? How could this support you in this kind of a community? So again, this prompt that you're seeing does look more polished just because it came from ChatGPT. And literally when I use ChatGPT, I sit here and I talk into it and I just brain dump it. I don't even type it. And then it comes back and I just copy and pasted it. So that's just one of my hacks. But again, this came through as a really nice, I mean, I don't prefer brown. I'm going to change a lot of things, but this looks like, pulling it up, better screen here. So you've got the navigation bar on the side. The first time it published this, it came out, it was on the top, and I didn't want it there. I kind of wanted it to have a little bit of a Slack vibe feel or a Notion feel. So I named it. This is a functioning place where people can post their weekly wins, or if they tried something new, you could come in here and add your directory, your members, your profile, your networking stuff. And then you can also search other members, um, other things, meetings, what's upcoming, what's past, because I want to also have a place where we can put, recordings, minutes, things like that. Any resources. This did this on its own, which is really cool. I could see it being things like Lovable, not necessarily meeting minutes. I feel like that goes in the other place, but I would just tell it to move it. Discussion, hey, who's using what, pop in here and look at things. Again, celebrate your wins and have different tags for that. Let's see what else. The current
So
commitment
cool,
to
Molly. Oh my
streamline.
God. I can't believe 7 minutes is like mind-blowing.
7 minutes. Well, okay. So now to be fair, it probably took me to 5 minutes to brain dump and think through to chat G.
Yeah, but even the building of like this, like taking
Yeah.
that short of time and doing some of the edits is incredible.
Yes. And this is on the first take. I only did one request, and that was to move the navigation pane so far.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And now I gotta stop sharing. Gosh. Like I can't stop sharing. It's on the other thing. There we go.
Perfect.
Beth, I have a question. I will share because that might be the only way it works.
Sure.
But I have a question on like whether or not it can search for me. So let me
Okay.
share screen here. Okay. So I created a destination thing. So every year I have multiple events that I do for my company. And so this is so that other people can actually see where a meeting is being hosted, so they know which hotel I chose and maybe why I chose it and what restaurants other people can add to it as well. So what I'm trying to do, and it's obviously working on reassigning things, but if I go to, I did it in Edinburgh and it didn't work. I
Sorry,
want to do,
Caroline, did you want to share your screen?
and I'm not sharing my screen.
Oh, maybe I can't see it.
It says that I'm sharing my screen.
Can everyone
Hold on. Nope, nope. I didn't share it. It told me which one I was
Okay.
going to share, but I didn't actually share it. Is it shared now?
I think
Great.
so. It's just loading up. Yep, here we
Okay.
go.
Okay. So I will go back to the front page. So it's reassigning because it did a bad job when I did it at the end of assigning to Europe versus Americas in Europe because Saigon is really not in America. And so if I go to any of these and I want to add a hotel, because normally I do a site visit, I'll go to like 5 to 6 different hotels and I want to
Mhm.
be able to like say, okay, well, this is better than that one and what notes there are, or upload pictures. If I say that in Montreal, I want you to look at the Humanity Hotel because I know that one exists. Supposedly it's going to look up the
Yeah.
find the other information for me. But I'm getting a error message here.
Yep.
If I say try to fix, okay, now it's going to say fix. Before it was not saying fix.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe there was a problem with that.
It's okay, Caroline. This is actually brings up a great point, which is when you have an app or a website that has some different features built in, like a search feature or something, um, sometimes Lovable will build the interface so like it looks pretty, but it might not have built out like the back end yet. So it's
Yeah.
good that you're like testing this. And it
Okay.
might make you do something like, say, for example, it wants you to be able to use Google to do these searches. It might tell you, okay, Caroline, you need to go set up a Google Cloud account and I need you to go grab like an API key. It's okay if you've never done this before, it'll literally walk you through the steps on like how to set up those accounts and get what it needs to make it functional. I don't know if
Okay.
that's like exactly what is wrong in this instance, but just a heads up for anybody else when you're building these features, sometimes they
Okay.
might not work until you follow other steps that might require going somewhere else.
I am just testing it again because it said it
Yeah,
was
let's check it
done.
out.
Oh, yay, it came out. Okay.
Like
Perfect.
magic.
I'm gonna say that was a nicer photo. Okay, perfect.
So cool. This is awesome, by the way. I love this.
This is to save me time. I did build other apps on a different program that I can't share necessarily as easily, and that was why I went to that question. And one of them is a event expense tracker that I can upload my like daily BOEs and everything so that I can just allocate to F&B or rooming costs or
Yeah.
AV or whatever. And then at the end, I have a downloadable CSV file that I give to my controller.
Super
So
cool.
I like that, but I couldn't share it with anybody. And there's a lot of people that also want to be able to use something like that, and they don't have I don't want to say courage, but they're hesitant to use an app builder themselves because
Gotcha.
I don't
Yeah.
know if they think they'll break AI, but they really won't.
Well, once you share this with them, I think they'll probably be a little bit more encouraged.
So yeah, because it's shareable. I'm trying to stop sharing this, and for some reason I cannot.
I think it
So
should be at
can
the
you?
bottom. There'll be like a little red square that says stop share.
I know it should, but randomly it's not. Well, let me see if
Let me
that
see if I
helps.
can help out here.
Maybe, oh, there it is. It came up. Stop share. Okay, thank you.
Great. Does anyone else on the call want to share what they're working on?
I can share.
Amazing.
Okay. It's not real. Can you see it?
Not yet. You might have to click, like the box will come up and then I think you have to click share again. Nothing yet.
Yeah, I've had my privacy settings on.
Oh. Thanks, Tess. Anyone else who has to jump off early, I'm going to resend the post-session survey in the chat if you all could just fill this up. Shauna, absolutely, there will be a recording. And also, since you just joined, I'm going to drop in how to redeem the Lovable credit if you want to do that now while Caitlin pulls up her screen to share.
I can
Okay.
share too, Beth. Oh, I'm sorry. Caitlin is, I'm
Perfect.
sorry.
No, great. This is awesome. Yeah, we have plenty of time.
It's not really EA related, but I just wanted to build the thing that I couldn't find for my own business. So basically, I wanted to create like a landing page where you could plan an orchard, just really quick plug and play with different varietals.
Well, that's
And
so cool.
you can find their beneficial insects and the beneficial plants you can plant around each tree to prevent different pests. So I basically just had it show me different heirloom varieties. I had it pull information off of a website that had all these different varieties. And then I asked it to kind of let us know what the zone for each tree is and what you can plant around it. It's kind of inspired by permaculture, what plants to plant underneath the tree to help give it nutrients. So I kind of just wanted to create like something really easy to be able to browse and plan an orchard.
That's
And then I
super
was like,
cool.
well, I want to be able to click on each thing, all my favorites from the website, and then I wanted to be able to add it to plan based on my own dimensions for the orchard. So you can add length and width of the orchard, what your slope is, what kind of size of tree you wanted, and then
Wow.
you basically like click all the different trees that you want, and then it will plan out the orchard based on what at level of the slope it wants to be on, what zone, like your
That
best.
is so cool.
So I was like, this is like what I've been trying to plan for months. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it in 15 minutes and
That's
hopefully.
amazing. I love that. And I feel like, Caitlin, the cool thing about this too is I feel like, being like EAs and things, like maybe we're a little bit more connected to like the tech community in some ways with these tools, but I feel like farmers are a little bit farther and like people who are like doing things like this will be a great tool, like if you could launch it and actually share it.
I mean, it's just wild what you can do. You can literally build anything.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I wanted to share. I was like, you can build literally anything.
that is so awesome. Thank
So
you so
can
much.
you share that? Because I'm literally stuck in this planning process of an orchard, literally. That or I'm just gonna have to do it myself. But I will.
That's
I'll let you know
amazing.
I'll let you know on the website.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dying.
We literally just planted our trees too. And it's funny because we were just talking yesterday about how we need to like cover crop because it needs ground cover. So it'd be awesome to be able to just click that and see what to plant below it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sarah, I think you said you had something to share?
Yes, so mine is not as elaborate, but I went by your example with your uncle and his barbecue. So
Cool.
I'm a yoga teacher. I also like coffee shops. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm building an app that lets me find a coffee shop and a yoga studio wherever I am in the world. Um, I asked it to do either coffee or yoga or both.
It's so cool.
And then, so and I haven't published it yet. So if I hit Santa Barbara, now it's gonna come up with all of these. And I tested this because I live here and I know these are all legit. I go to those. I teach at one of them. I go to all of these. And then say if I want here, I can toggle between list view and map view. So I could see if it works. I could see if the yoga studio is close to the coffee shop. Now it's not working. Yeah, so a second ago it was working. It came back with a map. How do I go back here? Do you know?
Try clicking at the top. There's like a little arrows like in a circle for the refresh. Keep going to the right a little more with your mouse.
To
Go
the
right.
right.
Yeah, to the right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right there.
Oh, this one.
I don't know.
Right. Yes,
I
it
don't know if
seems
it'll
not
work.
to work. Okay. So how do I go back to the other?
So you see right there to the left of that arrow you just clicked, there's like a slash for like where you're at.
Oh, here
Okay,
we
there
go.
you go.
Yeah. So anyway, it's supposed to show me the map view. Let's try it one more time. Um, and so this is just for me because wherever I travel, I always want to go to a yoga studio and I usually go into Google and it's like, you see they show you all fitness studios all of a sudden. So let's try map view and see if it does it. It won't right now. But what you said earlier, I had to get an API. It
Yes.
taught me how to do it. I had to set up a quick uh like account with this thing, whatever Google Cloud is. It said it
Yeah.
won't charge me. And then it taught me how to get the API because I literally don't know even how to get it. It said
Yeah.
enable it, taught me how to, and then I had to copy the API, go back and give it to it. And then that was it.
That is
So
so awesome. I love that. It would be cool too, like if you clicked on the yoga studio and it's like, oh, there's like a coffee shop 2 doors down or like a block away that you
yes, and that's what the how did you told me how did you tell me to
the
go how to go
refresh.
back?
Yeah, it might be that. You could also tell if this is like happening, you could just say it's like you could just tell Lovable that it's not.
There we go. So I have the toggle between only coffee, yoga, and both. And so like a second ago when I gave it instructions to show me a map view, it would then um see here, it's supposed to show me a map and say, then I could see if the
Yeah,
mellow here is close to the Castro room because I don't know San Francisco like that, you
that's
know?
so cool.
So if the map view works. Yeah, that was mine. Um,
That's awesome.
all right,
Thanks for sharing.
no worries. Where am I? Kick me out, Beth.
No, it's fine. We got plenty of time. You can spend all day finding the stop share if you want.
I'm literally,
I'll try to see if I can. I don't know.
where am I? Where is this? Am I crazy?
It might be, you might have to find your Zoom like
I am trying.
toolbar that disappears.
I'm literally lost right now. It's, it should be this, but it's not here. Stop sharing. I'll try this. Thank you.
Got it. Sweet. That was awesome. I get so energized like seeing people's examples. It was so exciting. Anyone else want to share what they've been working on?
On the coffee shop one that everybody's talking about, I did see somebody do a coffee shop one and it was called like meet in the middle or something. And let's say you had your boss coming from here and somebody else's boss coming from there. It would also had a feature where you could find the coffee shop that was equal distance for both of them
Cool.
to save time. And you put in like, are they taking like, a Uber, are they walking or taking a bike, depending on like the city, or especially if you don't know. It was really neat because if you don't know the city, and let's say my leader is traveling, I did use it once, somewhat successfully, but just a cool feature you could probably build into that.
That's super cool. Hey Molly, do you want to share your family app that you built? No pressure if you don't want to.
No, I could do that.
That'd be cool.
I put it in, it's in the Slack if anybody wants to use it. And I'm happy to share the remix as well.
So a remix for everyone, that's like when if you want to copy something that somebody else has built, that's right. That's how you do it, Molly, right? Is use the remix. So if you like something someone else has built, they can share it with you and then you can remix their idea. I'll also drop the link in the chat if you want to join the Vibe Coding for EA's Slack community. This is just a place to share what you're working on. If you get stuck, I usually do announcements around like what's happening in AI, and then announcements for other sessions. So I'll drop that. That's also where Molly had shared it. And then if you want to share your screen.
Yeah, just pulling that up. And just so for context for everybody, there are a bunch of us turning 50 this year and a few of us turning 80, not me, for our family reunion. And we are all going to be in the same place at the same time in the Outer Banks. Hold on, sharing. I'm gonna move the screen again. It's exhausting. So the other use case you could do this with is for offsite planning. Hold on, let me put it into the bigger piece here. There were a lot of nuances to this, and I'll explain some of the things that trip me up a little bit. So because we've got a huge span of ages, there's a lot of detail. So some of my baby boomers and upwards really were like, you know, I need more information because I did do a little testing with one of them who's not very technically savvy. So it's kind of a theme here. It's got a know before you go section, which I mean, I took a lot of what I've done as an EA on like Notion pages for offsites and things and kind of put it in here. So it's, a know before you go. Here's the link where we're all staying. We've got multiple houses, local grocery stores, kind of like, how far away they are. Not everybody has been to this region. So two of the families have houses. That's why we all end up here. But like urgent care for our older people, what to pack. This was a big one. The older people were like, how do I get back? I can't get back to my home screen. So this was a huge request was to have that on every page. Who's where. We've got, the property map here pops out so you can see where all the different houses are. Who's staying where, which families are in the houses. Again, return to homepage, big one. The schedule. Now, this is what's kind of interesting. So, when we were talking about being able to edit things, this was the most nuanced kind of pain in the butt with Lovable that I've had so far. So one, if you're a family and you want to host an event or a meal or anything, you can add it here. Now, things like the BYOB taco bar, this took on a whole life of its own because it was like, who's bringing what? How do you say who's bringing it? And then if I change my mind, because there's a lot of that in my family, we got a lot of different dietary things, something we missed. And this was another piece down here. Who's attending, but then being able to remove it or edit it. That was huge too, because, all of a sudden my 19-year-old isn't going to be there that night. She's flying in the next day. So that kind of stuff. The family pictures, this was a huge to do too. We have to have time slots because we've got little kids and stuff who have meltdowns. So it's kind of like feed them, get their photos taken and get them out, and then we'll have the older people coming in later. So there's a lot of nuances to like our family pictures. And they submit this, what groupings they want, and then I get an email and it comes into a Google sheet that I'm sharing with the photographer that she knows what groupings are when, and she can then instruct us best.
Sorry, quick question on that, Molly. Are you
Yeah.
saying that you integrated this with Google Sheets so it'll just update it in real time?
That's the goal. Yeah. That's what I've got trying.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Awesome.
haven't looked at it, but I've gotten 3 emails, so I guess I should probably check that sheet. That or it would be in the data thing in the cloud here.
Yeah, cool.
That's the other thing.
Amazing.
And then again, RSVPs, progressive dinners, what's happening at what house, that kind of stuff, all in here. The other thing, travel. This was the other one. because we've got people coming, driving, flying, all kinds of stuff. So how you're getting there, when you're arriving, it's great information to have. So for example, this is my mom, Aunt Sally. I know that she's going to be driving, on or near Philly airport. If I need a ride, I can say ride share. You want to scoop me up at the airport? Because we also have a lot of teenagers who kind of are a hot mess. So it's like our own little Uber system in here. Again, return to homepage. Those nuances were difficult. Um, Things to do in the area, that I just pulled from the local sites and just actually kind of let it do it. The golf stuff was very important for the gentleman. Um, Different things to be done there. Again, local dining, all kind of those are the basics. The family jams, my family is very prone to karaoke and the oldies and stuff. So this was a big request. They wanted to know how we could start our own playlist by everybody submitting like their favorite songs, like their wedding songs and everything. So again, a lot of people couldn't figure out how to do it with the directions that I provided. So I had to do a lot of more detail than I would usually do it. How to play the music once you're on here. So how to add a song and, of course, yep, there are some of our family jams already, all oldies, but then you return to there. This is a big one. Vote on the photo theme because nobody can decide on anything. So we have two options, greens and blues or pinks and blues. You can cast your vote and that you can see where we're all at so far. And then we'll give them the results and tell everybody what they should be wearing, blah, blah, blah. This was the bigger one too, is getting people to understand that they can save this as an app to their screen on their phones so that everybody has this with them. You can save it to your desktop and or to, any screen basically. And it functions it shows a widget and you just click on it. So, so that it can be mobile and, you could open it. The intention is like, okay, you're sitting on the beach. What's the rest of the family doing? Who's where? Do I want to do anything with any of them? Or do I want to run away with them? So, but you could easily remix this into offsite retreat. And you can take, when you do a remix, you can also take certain things out. So you could take out, obviously, the vote on a theme and, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's that one. But this one took a little bit longer just because of all of the, when I said things like, allow me to be able to let people to be able to edit like their RSVP, it would do it on one page, but not throughout the whole thing. So I had some lessons learned there that's like, I have to put on every page, update this same functionality because it all has to be consistent. So little things like that, which I had not learned yet, those nuances. So
That's so awesome. And the button in the upper right hand corner, the save the app, just as like a quick note for folks who are building. So there's a difference between web apps, which is what we're building. It's kind of like just navigating to a website, and mobile apps. So like on your phone, if you're in the App Store, Lovable doesn't build mobile apps. So you can't like build this and then go put it in the App Store, just so you know. This is just, you just get there by a website. And why it's so helpful that Molly had that instruction is like, even if you don't download it from the App Store, you can still take any website and add it as an icon on your screen on your iPhone. So it looks like an app. It's not an app. It's just going to take you to a website, but it looks and feels like an app, and you can still have the little tile on your iPhone.
and you could have a framework like this and just save it and then literally have, like, let's say every time you have a town hall, you just have to, remix it and have a freshie and, change it. But, I think in my next larger role, I'll definitely take this type of stuff with me.
For sure.
I have a question on the
Sarah.
remixing though. Oh, sorry, Sarah. So say you had 12 of these events, Molly, which
Yeah.
I hope you never have 12 family reunions. But if you remix, is there a way to have like a holding page for all of them? So like I'm going back to my event things. I have two every year, kind of the same people every year. Is there a way that I can say, okay, you went to Vietnam in this one, and we did Miami in this one, that I have all of them on the same page, but each one is its own individual thing with like what Beth had with the form and all the information and everything?
Yes, you can do that.
You can just build it that way. You can tell Lovable, hey, I want a dashboard where I can see all of my family reunions or all of my events and be able to
Okay.
click on them individually.
Okay. But would each one have its own website then?
Good question. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, Molly. I feel like you'd have to also ask Lovable on that one. Like if she wanted them all interconnected and like each page to have their own domain, I'd be curious how that would work. The answer is
So
probably.
yeah, so what I'm hearing, the way I would do that was that I would build a landing page first, and then I would tell Lovable, I would build the two other things. Let's say there's two, and then I
Mhm.
would ask Lovable, I'd give the Lovable those web things and say plug
Okay.
it into there so they sit on top of it. So then when you
Yeah.
open
Okay.
the landing page, you would be able to do that. I'm pretty sure it's got that
Okay.
functionality.
Okay.
Anything
Yeah.
savvier, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah.
Sarah, did you have a question about how to get it on your phone?
Phone. So basically, the app's now ready, and I open it on my phone. I shared the link with myself, right?
Yep.
How right now it's in the browser in Safari. How do I make it an icon
So you're going to click the three little dots in the lower right-hand corner of your browser. Or sorry, let
on
me
the
look.
phone?
Sorry, yeah, let me look at
When
Safari.
people say these things, I'm like, where are the three dots? Like this never works for me, you know?
So, on my phone here, you click, there's like on the bottom right-hand corner, there should be three little dots, like where your
No,
website
I
is.
guess I'm on an iPhone. There aren't. Yeah.
Oh, are you on an iPhone? Sorry.
Yeah, iPhone. There are
Okay,
no three dots.
Are
Maybe.
you in
perfect. Or
Safari
just
or
click the
Chrome?
sh or just click the share button.
Hmm.
Do you see
Okay.
share?
Yeah, I
And you're
have
going to scroll down until you see the option add to home screen. There's one that's like
I
add bookmark, but then there's one that's add to home
yeah,
screen.
I
And then once you
did.
click that, you're going to say what you want it to be called and click add, and now it will show up on your home screen.
Well, damn.
Yeah, right?
Did it do it?
It's there. Yeah, I did it. I'll share the link with you if you guys want it.
Yeah.
It's just for yoga and coffee, but mm,
Yeah. That's so fun. That's great. I love this. I
All of
just
my
hate this.
company's money for these apps, yes. So cool. I'm going to test yours out right now, Sarah. So cool, it works. And the map feature works too.
yeah, I just gave I screenshot the error message that I got once, I tried it again and I said, here, I get an error message and it went, oh, la la la. And then it said something technical that I don't even know how to, reiterate. It
Yeah.
fixed it. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna share this with my boyfriend.
I saw something, actually, I saw somebody who made a super cute thing for their boyfriend, like on their anniversary. It was like this whole little custom like app. It was awesome. So many things you can do. I agree, Nicole. I could watch people build stuff all day. It is fascinating. I'm like nerdy enough where like I joined like the Lovable Reddit. Just like what are people building in here?
Okay, now you know what I'm doing right now. Going
Yeah.
over to Reddit.
Yeah, exactly.
Is anybody stuck on anything? That's what I'm always curious about.
Yeah,
Because
like what are like the barriers that get people to not use it?
yeah, because if it's a pain point for you, it's a pain point for somebody else and or me. And I'm always curious, like it would have been helpful if I had known how difficult it would be to get it editable. Like that little nuance I said, like that literally that took like an hour. And it's never taken me an hour to get something done in Lovable.
Yeah.
So, and like to be able to save credits would be awesome.
Yeah. I agree. I've also gotten stuck on some things, but I feel like once you experience the magic of it, like just like Sarah publishing this coffee and yoga thing or something, I feel like it motivates you to like want to work through all the errors that you get if you're trying to do something more complex because it's totally worth it.
Love Lovable. Who's that?
That's
Hi.
sweet
Yeah.
pea.
So basically the only like I'm not stuck, but like so now it's on my phone, but the app icon is like ugly. It's like a gray sea is for
Yeah.
cozy spot. And I'm like, why is it not cute?
Oh,
How can I make that app icon cute, the symbol?
Go to the Lovable page,
Okay.
and once you're, hold on. It's a quick fix. That's a quick, easy fix.
Oh.
Um, you can actually tell it, say, make my icon pretty.
hmm.
But the other way to do it is when you're in your, page, your build page, up in the publish section.
Yeah.
That's
Go
where I
to
did
edit
mine.
settings. Go to edit settings, maybe.
I believe that's what I did. Yes, and then hold on. Because mine, I had to like redo mine once or twice because it did it backwards. I think I ended up just telling it.
Yeah, this is the same icon, I believe, that like when you go to a website, like even on Lovable, there's that little heart icon, and I think it's the same thing. So you can
Yeah.
just tell it to update your.
I changed that icon. I uploaded a photo, but I guess it's not translating it into the app. So maybe it has to be more, not an elaborate photo, more like a icon symbol thingy.
Yeah.
And a photo wasn't good. So I think I should find a symbol.
Oh, we could start a Twitch channel. I would watch
Oh,
that.
favicon. Shauna's right. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a favicon. Favicon.
Favicon.
Favicon. Try just telling it in the box that says ask Lovable. Say, how do I
Yeah, I'm
do
gonna
that? Say
make
it's
me
ugly and I don't
a
like it.
I'm gonna say make me a yoga coffee favicon.
There you go.
Whatever. I'm gonna just spitball favicon because I don't know how to write that.
It's in the publish options. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. That's where I think I did it.
I asked it how to do it, and it basically said, send me the image you want to use. It didn't
Yeah,
like tell me how. It's probably it's going to go into the code and like drop it
it can
somewhere.
do it. Yeah. It's saying I'm exploring iconography for coffee and yoga. Let's see if it comes up with something fun.
It's in the
That would be a
public
good
option.
Twitch channel. All of the EAs, half nerdy, half annoyed.
We're all the only thing is we're all building the same thing. We're all building
Well,
stuff for events.
yeah.
Nicole, you said it's in the publish options. Like if I click publish in the upper right hand corner, I actually don't see options. Are you seeing that somewhere else?
I'm looking to unmute. Okay, I did it. So when I clicked publish and it was like ready to publish, I gave it there's like website info that popped up and there's icon and title. And you can title your app and select your icon
Oh,
and then
okay, I can see it
upload.
now. Okay.
And I think I just didn't notice it because I wasn't publishing yet.
Yeah.
I knew it was in publish.
Oh, I made an app, but not on this one, so I can't, I'm not going to show you the app, but I call it a value vault, and it's an impact tracker because like especially EAs, you get told you have to track your impact and you have to make it business aligned because nobody's going to take you seriously if you just say that I've submitted these expense reports. So what I did was every week I get a notification like to give it 4 things that I've done, and it can save time, save money, impact other people, be a strategic. Like I have 4 categories, right? So I put in what I did, and it can be as small as I noticed that somebody was being pushed to hire somebody, but that person's predecessor chose not to for a certain reason. And obviously, my boss wouldn't know that, but I have that history. So being able to tell them that. So I put like random stuff in there. or submitting expense reports, or creating a form for somebody on the team that gets paid way more than me but does not know how to use forms. So I'm like, okay, so I put all that in. I then added KPIs, and it's like, it's either suggested by AI KPIs, or I can put my own KPIs in, and it assigns those things that are my value vault stuff that I put in. It assigns to KPIs, and then there's a downloadable file that has all these KPIs, how much time, how much money, how many people I supported, and things like that. So I have like an ongoing thing. So when I have a performance review, which hasn't happened in 10 years because apparently that's not a thing, is I then have something to like fall back on and be like, yeah, no, I actually did this stuff that is business relevant, as opposed to just like, oh yeah, I'm just like moving things around in your calendar. So it's a really helpful one. Like anybody can make that. I mean, that took me 10 minutes to make.
Right.
So it's nice because I gamify everything.
So I'm going to take that and I'm going to flip that into, I have a growth goal generator that I built in Lovable, and I'm going to add that as like a first layer. So hold on a second. Now you got me thinking. Sorry. Hold on a second. Because I don't know how. So if you have 4 kind of buckets.
Yep. I'm actually going to open it on my other app so I can tell you what my buckets are.
Well, I'm trying to pull this over so I can show you. So this is how, like, I do this, but I like what you're doing as like on the regular versus this is more for like yearly or whatever, you know. So that's what I've been doing this as. But because I have different people that I work for, some people want different goals, like you know, KPIs, V2 mom, you know, different things.
OKRs, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been doing this as historical, like putting in past instead of like keeping it current. So when you're keeping it current like that, does it go to like a database or a spreadsheet? I might have missed that.
It does. Can I share my screen just for a second then? All
Yeah,
right. I know it's
Hold on,
not
let me
lovable, and I apologize because yes.
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Caroline, I also do something similar with like Claude. Like since I use it for pretty much everything,
Yep.
I'll just ask it like, oh, I have like a performance review coming up. Like tell me everything I've worked on in the past like 6 months or something.
So the way I did it, I have a dashboard and I can say log this week, right? And then it'll ask me, and my 4 categories are time, decisions, money, and problems, right? So I can log this and I can add an entry, and I'm just going to add random typing things so that we can know where it is. I say add the no, okay. That is because I've done this amount. Save my entries, great. It will then go into the log over here where I have like all of this. So this I can export as a CSV, all my log things. And I haven't done this for like a week. I then have my KPIs, and I can add a KPI that it suggested. And I'm actually in an HR one, not my administrative one. So I can add this, or I can put in my own KPIs here. And then it will assign whatever is in my value log. It'll assign to a KPI, or I can then say, oh, I actually want to move it to a different KPI because it doesn't make sense over there. I want to put a meeting scheduled accuracy, whatever, and put it there. And I export this. So when I export it, it exports the main KPI along with all the values in it. And that's all I use. So it's not really like super robust. It's a very easy way of doing it because once again, it was one of my first ones. If I go to settings, I changed it because somebody else wanted it as well, and they're in marketing. So I made marketing, human resources, and legal, but the administrative one, all it does is change the KPIs that it suggests instead of like everything else. So it's really just the dashboard. The one thing I really like that I did was a feedback repository. So like I'll take like a snapshot of a card, like a thank you card for one of my events, and I'll drag it and drop it here. If somebody sent me an email with things, I like add it here so I can always go back and look at it and see what I have. So you'll see that's the entry. And it put it in learning and development. So it's not robust, but it's
It looks pretty. Hey, I'll say that this is pretty robust.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm like. She keeps saying that. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure this is pretty comprehensive.
But
That's
no,
incredible.
it's one of those things that is just really helpful for you to look back on and be like, yes, I did actually like give a lot of value to my company this week, even if you don't know it, because at the end of a week as an EA, you're like, what did I do this week? And this is 4 things a week that I put in there. I didn't just do 4 things in a week, but it's like it's very obvious how much impact I'm having just with those actions. So the more you put in, it's not limiting you. You can put in your whole day of all your decisions you took, and you can realize that you saves other people more than 8 hours a day.
That is so awesome. And it's so funny that Jacqueline also said this is exactly what she built during this. I would love to see, Jacqueline, like how your interpretation of an
Ooh.
impact tracker looks too.
Absolutely.
That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing, Caroline.
Hold on. I'm actually logged in twice, so I had to mute myself on the other computer because I wanted to have a
No worries.
double monitors. Okay, so let me see if I can share. And mine is not as robust as Caroline's, by the way, because I just started this, but one moment. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Am I sharing it?
Yep, it's good.
Okay. So yeah, this is just I just started it. So this is basically what it is. I asked it just to, I gave it some categories: problem solved, hour saved, cost savings. And oftentimes I find like really my limitation is my own imagination. So I didn't
Yeah.
know, and I even asked it to like give me other categories, something that I'm missing or whatever. And I forget, I think maybe it's process improvements or something it gave me. Yeah, so here's where hold on, I'm just gonna move this a little bit. I can't. There we go. Log my entries for, whatever categories that it gave me and cancel. And then I asked it for a wins journal as well. Like I put like today's workshop as a wins as a wins
So
journal.
cool.
Yeah. So it gives me my history for the month, eventually for the year, a year in review once the year's over. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep playing around with it and just add. I like the idea of linking it to KPIs. I think you said, Caroline, that you created.
I did. So there's
Yeah,
different ones, as
feedback.
Molly said. It's KPIs, OKRs, like
Mm-hmm.
SMART goals, like everybody has a different way. So my
Right.
company uses KPIs. So it's
Okay.
easy for me to, and if you take the KPIs from like your boss and you
Mm-hmm.
put them in, you can just like put them in and go like translate these to administrative
Mm-hmm.
KPIs for me, and
Right.
it will give you suggestions there.
Right. Well, this problem that I've run into or I am running into is my company, we don't, like you said, they don't really do annual review. You make KPIs or so everything I create myself. I even told my boss, hey, I'll create a framework for you as to how to review me if you want. So
But
this might
the
be.
good things on mine that I really like that you could probably add pretty easily and make is the feedback. So when
Mhm,
somebody sends you an email saying you
mhm,
did a great job on this or
mhm.
whatever, that worked. But then also the downloadable. So if you just say create a downloadable CSV file for me
Oh,
from
like up here.
your log, so that
Yeah.
you have something to look back on.
Mhm. What do you do about like when you get kudos like verbally? You don't get it by email. So
I have one thing. I mean, I can just add, I just added as
okay.
a like I this guy said this to me.
Hmm.
And so it goes in the feedback repository, but it's just me saying what was told to me as opposed
Okay.
to like an actual thing.
Hmm. All right, that makes sense.
That is so awesome, Jacqueline. It would also be cool. I'm just like thinking like on features. It would be cool even if you could export it as like a Word doc or like a written doc. So if you have to submit like a written performance review, it could compile all of the stats like from your Excel or from your database and then like give it like a written narrative recap that you could just paste into your performance review.
Yeah.
Or
That's
even
great.
generate like talking points for when you're in your performance review. That'd be cool. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I know we've got just 1 minute left, so I'm just going to put a couple things up on the screen here. I hope you all found today valuable. I am going to paste a link in the chat to our post-session survey. Again, these are totally free sessions. The way that you can return any type of favor would just be to fill out these surveys. So I sent one in the beginning, and I'll send one here for the post-session. Yeah, and then real quick, if you want to stay connected, you can join the Slack community. This is the Vibe Coding for EA Slack community. You don't have to be an EA to join. If you're vibe coding, just join us. It's a place where we can share what we're working on if you get stuck on something, and I also send announcements. There's the Vibe Coding for EA's LinkedIn, and then the website. On my website, I have replays to like past Vibe Coding for EA sessions. So if you've missed one, you can watch there. And I have some blog posts and resources as well. I'll drop these in the chat. Okay, and here is the post-session survey. Let me make sure my music is working. The post-session survey is like 3 questions. I'm going to play a little music while we log off. Again, thank you everyone for joining. It was so much fun. I hope it was valuable.
Together and quantity got bibbity bobbity. It be magic, believe it or not. Bibbity bobbity boo. Now Salakadoola me. Mitchkaboo the room. Just a wave of my stick and to finish the trick. Bibbidi, gracious, what did I do? Oh, just leave it to me. What a gown this will be. Bibbidi, bibbidi, bibbidi. Like a dream, a wonderful dream come true. Yes, my child. It's me.